Hi there. In this picture, we are going to discuss what this young woman is doing. She's about 23 years old and she has been beaten, tortured, branded, and raped severally. This is what domestic violence is all about. Domestic violence is abuse, it is torture, it is murder, it is the beating and raping and branding and threatening and humiliating of a human being who otherwise could just be fulfilling her life potential. Domestic violence happens to millions of women, and also it happens to men and kids and children. The victim feels humiliated in her home. The victim feels stripped of all human dignity and all rights. There is so much damage that's physical, sexual, emotional, mental, social well being. It damages. Domestic violence is devastating. Plus, it cuts across all generations, all cultures, all religions, and on all socio-economic statuses. So, it cuts across educational levels. It comes in different forms. Domestic violence is physical abuse. It hinders economic production. According to the United Nations, in 2017 alone, approximately 78,000, that's 64% of females, were killed by their intimate partners. Some were so beaten and devastated that they could not function anymore. So, as we have noticed, the society is not getting any better. Therefore, we call on you as an individual, to do something about this. Domestic violence is the scourge of humanity. It brutalizes the society. It destroys families. It should not be considered a private matter anymore. Domestic violence is no longer a private matter. Domestic violence has to be tackled the same way that communities tackle problems of armed robbery or kidnapping. The domestic violence issue is so grave. It is a social taboo. We must not continue to watch this escalate. Now, I'm going to play this video for you. This young woman was beaten, raped, tortured in the hands of a man she loved. And I have to emphasize that most domestic violence victims are faced with total humiliation, denigration, and the fact that they cannot even run away. When they try to run away, they get killed. So, most domestic violence victims are humiliated in their homes. This happens so close to home, it is a very close call. This girl
Try your face, come. I beg go see. Make you look marriage before you can turn back. The husband nearly killed her this night. Tie and rope, both leg and hand. Look this side. I opposite is where your family go look for you. Bring your face, make your family look for you. I opposite your family go find you now. I beg. With the family of this girl, if you see this video, hit me. Where you from come? Enugu. Where in Enugu? Oduma community in Enugu. Where is your father's name? Hyacinth Uketv.
Yes.
Okay. So this place where you are, so now you are how to stay. Okay, your husband come in Enugu State, come marry you, come here.
Yes.
So now he come and kill you last night.
Yes.
Turn your back. See what your husband took for him. Do one yesterday night. Every minute, every second, they beat him. They look at fast. If this girl and your family are beg, DM me, make a send number for when you go reach. Thank you.
So this is so devastating to this girl. She's very young. She was sent away to get married, and this is what she's facing. I encourage parents to please stop doing this. As you can see, that girl looks so young. She doesn't look anything like 23, and her husband almost killed her last night. Friends and family, please, people, do something about this. We need to challenge these men. We need men who believe in equal rights. We need men who will come out and say, this is wrong. Just as the gentleman in the video has recorded this. If you know that domestic violence is happening around you, do not turn a blind eye. Please do not say, oh, it's a private matter. Do not call it a private matter. Work on it. Ask questions. Ask the victims. Help them look for their families. Obviously, this lady came from Enugu State and became married to this man who is trying to kill her. And now that she has reported, who knows what else is going to happen to her. This is so wrong. Domestic violence brutalizes the female. It destroys the victim's morality. That is, how can she go on with life looking like this? It is not acceptable for a man to marry a woman and make her the footstool. He turned her into a maid and starts beating her up at the slightest provocation and almost killed her. Please, I'm begging everybody, get on board, the NGOs, the government, individuals, one by one. The meaning of feminism is equal rights, equal respect. It does not mean male domination. It does not mean hatred for men. A feminist is a man or a woman who believes that women should not be beaten, tortured, and raped. A feminist is a man who believes that women do the bulk of the household chores. Therefore, when a woman gets work outside the home, she ought to be paid well. Because most women make about 60 cents out of $1 that a man makes. This is so wrong. This is absolutely devastating, not just to Staying Stillness with Linda, not just to Uketv, not just to St. Candid House, but it is something that ought not to be a social malaise. We have to all join hands together to fight this. Domestic violence is abuse, it is torture, it is murderous, it is torturous. This lady was branded. As you can see, her back is completely branded with hot iron. The man was desperately trying. What is the point of marrying such a young, beautiful woman and trying to kill her? Domestic violence works against the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, according to the United Nations. It damages the woman's physical, emotional, social, mental, psychological well-being, and it also devastates families and children. When a woman is beaten and tortured, how can she take care of young women, take care of other young women and children? How can she take care of grandparents and aging father and mother? How can she take care of her daily duties and chores since men do not want to do women's work? Please, I encourage you to share this video. Share this video. Stop the domestic violence that cuts across all generations, all cultures and religions on all socioeconomic and educational level. It comes in all forms. It comes in all forms of physical abuse, and it comes and hinders the human being. Domestic violence ought to be ended. Domestic violence should be stopped by all NGOs and non-governmental organizations throughout the world. We encourage you to share this video. This is from the United Nations telling you that the disadvantages of domestic violence is abuse, torture, and it's part of dehumanization. It is totally dehumanizing to the victim. The victim is humiliated and cannot continue her education or her work. Please share this video. Share this video. Stay Stillness with Linda on Uketv. And our sponsor is St. Candid House. We thank you for watching. Join us next time. Stay stainless.